In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Negative Creep. Negative Creep is the 7th song off of Nirvana's debut record Bleach, and it's unique for a few reasons. It's often regarded as a perfect example of what the true quote-unquote Seattle grunge sound is. It's an intense track with dark lyrics, dark themes, heavy guitars and drums, the perfect mix for grunge. And what strikes me most about this song are Kurt's vocals. Kurt Cobain's scream is one of his most iconic traits, and there is no better example of that than a Negative Creep. Some of the screaming he does on his other tracks throughout all 3 albums are also amazing, but for me, Negative Creep is on par with pretty much anything else he does in terms of intense screaming vocals. And it's not just me who feels that way. There are a lot of people who really admire Negative Creep, particularly because of Kurt Cobain's insane vocal screams in that song. Josh Homme, for example, the lead singer and guitarist from Queens of the Stone Age, he's also a fan of Negative Creep. He had this to say about it. "The first time I heard Bleach, I remember turning to my friends and saying, 'We gotta start writing better songs.' Listening to Negative Creep and School and Love Buzz, I thought there were 3 different singers in the band. It was a total perspective changer. It definitely ripped a sheet of paper off my mental notepad." Music critic Mark Richardson of Pitchfork said, "Cobain's voice through the second verse terrifies me. There is no concern for his physical well-being or even his future as a vocalist in a rock band. He sings as intensely as he can possibly sing. Sometimes, when I'm listening loud, I think my headphones might be breaking up from the volume, only to realize that the membrane being excited to the point of distortion is actually Cobain's larynx." Negative Creep is such a heavy tune that some critics have even referred to it as a pseudo thrash metal song. On the topic of thrash metal, by the way, which Metallica song and which Metallica album do you think are Kurt Cobain's favorites? I'll let you know at the end of this video. As mentioned before, Negative Creep is a unique song within the Nirvana catalog for a few different reasons. In addition to being one of Nirvana's most intense, heavy songs, as well as an example of the quote-unquote true Seattle grunge sound, Negative Creep is also the only song on Bleach that ends with a fade-out. Negative Creep was produced and recorded by Jack Endino, the man who produced and recorded Bleach, Nirvana's debut record, between December of 1988 till January of 1989. Kurt Cobain wrote Negative Creep back in 1988, and according to Nirvana biographer Michael Azerrad, Negative Creep is a first-person narrative from an antisocial person, that person being Kurt himself. I just always saw myself as a negative person. Steve Fisk, however, an audio engineer and producer who's worked with Nirvana on various occasions, has said that the song is actually about something totally different. He said that, quote, "I got told it, Negative Creep, was about the guy who lived across the street from the duplex and would come over when Kurt was gone to try to smoke Tracy Miranda out." Tracy Miranda was Kurt Cobain's girlfriend at the time he wrote the song. Negative Creep was generally well received by critics and fans alike, but there is one specific criticism that has been leveled against Negative Creep. The lyrics in the chorus of Negative Creep, "Daddy's little girl ain't a girl no more," are very similar to the title and lyrics of Mudhoney's song, "Sweet Young Thing Ain't Sweet No More." "Sweet Young Thing Ain't Sweet No More" was released before Negative Creep, and Mudhoney and Nirvana were both signed to Sub Pop Records at the time. So did Kurt Cobain find the inspiration for the chorus of Negative Creep by listening to that Mudhoney song? In Kurt Cobain's own words, he told biographer Michael Azerrad that the similarity in the lyrics between those songs is simply a case of subconscious theft. Negative Creep was not released as a single from Bleach, but nevertheless, it continues to be one of the album's most iconic songs, and it's been covered by several notable artists over the years. For instance, in 2001, Dee Dee Ramone covered Negative Bleach. For example, in 2001, Dee Dee Ramone covered Negative Creep for the Nirvana tribute record, Smells Like Bleach, a punk tribute to Nirvana. Ironically, on the Smells Like Bleach album, Negative Creep is the only song from Bleach. The songs which appear on the tribute album are Come As You Are, Smells Like Teen Spirit, Stay Away, On a Plane, Breed, Negative Creep, Lithium, Something in the Way, Scentless Apprentice, All Apologies, Aneurysm, and Dive. In 2004, Velvet Revolver also did a cover of Negative Creep, which to me is particularly cool. I always thought Velvet Revolver was a great band, and the fact that Scott Weiland is covering Kurt Cobain is pretty grungy. Scott Weiland, of course, was the vocalist for Velvet Revolver and Stone Temple Pilots. Negative Creep was first performed by Nirvana at the Husky Union Building at the University of Washington in Seattle on February 25th, 1989. To date, there are 5 officially released live versions of Negative Creep. The first was recorded on February 9th, 1990 at the Pine Street Theater in Portland, Oregon. That recording was released in 2009 as part of the Bleach 20th Anniversary Edition CD. The second rendition was recorded in Ireland at the Sir Henry's Bar in Cork on August 20th, 1991. That version was used in the documentary 1991, The Year Punk Broke, which was released in 92. Nirvana's performance of Negative Creep at Seattle's Paramount Theater on October 31st, 1991 was released on the live album From the Muddy Banks of the Wishkah in 1996. And as part of the Live at the Paramount DVD Blu-ray. Another live version of Negative Creep, this one from February 22nd, 1992 in Honolulu, Hawaii, appears on the 2006 DVD Live Tonight Sold Out. And the rendition of Negative Creep performed at the Reading Festival appears on the 2009 release Live at Reading. Negative Creep also appears in the classic 1996 grunge documentary Hype, as part of the documentary's official soundtrack. Photographer Charles Peterson's book, Screaming Life, a chronicle of the Seattle music scene released in 1995, had a bonus CD which included Negative Creep. All in all, Negative Creep is not one of Nirvana's most popular songs, but as we all know, popularity does not define artistic merit. Negative Creep is a unique song from the Nirvana catalog. The fact that it almost sounds like a thrash song is one of those reasons. And speaking of thrash, let's talk about Metallica. Kirk Hammett, the lead guitarist from Metallica, told Rolling Stone magazine back in 2014 that Kurt Cobain's favorite Metallica song was Whiplash from the Kill 'Em All record, and that Kurt Cobain's favorite overall record was Ride the Lightning. In Kirk Hammett's own words, he, Kurt Cobain, told me himself that Whiplash is his favorite Metallica song. He came to one of our shows in Seattle on the Black Album tour. I remember at one point we were playing Whiplash, and he looked at me and kept punching the air with his fist, and gave me this big thumbs up sign. I was like, cool Kurt, I know you love this song, this one's for you. I knew Kurt kinda well, and I hung out with him quite a bit. He was a pretty big Metallica fan. I was surprised at how much of a Metallica fan he was. He loved Ride the Lightning. He loved that album. If you like Nirvana, please make sure to subscribe. I have a lot more Nirvana videos here, and there's going to be a lot more coming. Thank you for watching.